It's the last supper in the feeding clinic, and Emma's got just one more chance to eat what's put in front of her.
So how are you feeling? Last meal?
Oh, I can't wait for it.
Starving.
Can't wait, to be honest.
Scott's getting a welcome feast of spaghetti bolognese and 2 whole squares of chocolate.
Thank you.
And meatballs are back on the menu for Emma. Looks like Emma's finally turned the corner as she matches Scott, mouthful for mouthful.
Last meatball.
Go for it. Awesome.
I can eat well tonight, knowing I've done it, finally.
In the UK, over 1.6 million people are battling with an eating disorder, and these figures are rising. Morag, Roz, Fiona and Ashley are anorexic. Over the series, we're following the group's progress as they take part in an 8-week course designed to challenge some of the key aspects of this destructive illness. Helping the group address their issues are 2 renowned eating disorder specialists, consultant psychiatrist Dr. Peter Rowan and eating disorder dietitian Ursula Philpott. Anorexia is frequently associated with sufferers denying themselves food, but obsessive and excessive exercise is a common part of the illness. Our anorexia sufferers are now in the 3rd week of treatment, and to help them break their abusive relationships with exercise, Ursula has arranged for the group to go salsa dancing, where the aim is to socialise, not to burn calories.
Okay, guys, we're gonna start with the salsa basic steps today. So let's begin with the mambo basic step.
Salsa dance is great because the emphasis is on fun rather than burning up calories. One thing that they get out of exercising is the distraction from thoughts about food and weight. And if they can replace that with something healthy like salsa dancing, that's got to be a good thing.
Don't straighten the legs so much, Fiona. You must flex the legs a little bit.
Okay.
Yes?
As a trained maths teacher, Fiona applies her mathematical brain to her exercise routine.
There was a time when I was doing as much as 3 or 4 hours of walking a day. At one point, I had a pedometer and I could count how many steps I'd actually done. And I read in a magazine somewhere that you had to do over 10,000 steps, and so that became another of my rules. I had to walk 10,000 steps at least every day.
For the anorexic, the tendency is to use the same form of exercise, count it rigidly, do exactly the same thing repetitively, and do it again and again and again.
1, 2, that's better.
Close body contact is a new experience for Fiona, as she's never had a relationship.
I'm aware that, you know, I'm now at 25 years old and I've got absolutely no experience whatsoever. Will other people ever find me attractive? It's just a big question because it's the unknown.
And open and close and down.
At just over 5 stone, Roz is the lightest of the group and has become dependent on her rigid daily activity. Compulsive exercising at very low weights can be extremely damaging, resulting in stress fractures, osteoporosis, and heart problems, and in extreme cases, can be fatal.
All of us use exercise in appropriate ways. We regard it as a normal way of trying to keep a healthy body. The problem for the anorexic is that they do exactly the same thing, except that they do it to extreme. They have a conflict. That conflict is between wanting to eat and at the same time being terrified of the consequence of that, which of course is weight gain. And the difficulty with that is that they become compulsive about it.
If I don't do it, I get really... I'm a nightmare to be around.
The illness changes people. It seems that other things in their life are a bit of a distraction. It makes them different people from what they used to be. It actually becomes very difficult not to blame the person for what you're feeling towards the illness.
And 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7.
Before anorexia, Ashley used to enjoy exercising with his team at football training. But but a wrist injury put an end to his dreams of becoming a footballer.
There was a time when I was doing a lot of exercise, gym work, football, and then when that stopped, there was a hole, and I needed to fill that hole.
As he began to lose weight, he became too weak to do his usual training, so has taken walking to the extreme.
I'll often walk 4 or 5 miles a day and just try and walk as much as I can and make as many excuses as I can to walk.
There's always an excuse for going other than the real reason. We know the reason he's going.
I'm trying to earn what I eat to make it more comfortable for myself, to justify that toast, to justify the tuna salad in the evening, to justify the bit of fruit I've had at lunchtime. There always needs to be that justification in my head, and the way around that is by walking.
And shoulders. And shoulders, Fiona.
Morag uses walking to burn off her unwanted calories.
Even in the most bizarre circumstances, I'll find an excuse to get out for a walk somewhere, or I'll just get up really early in the morning, or I'll wait till really late at night. It doesn't matter. Exercise is the thing that helps me sort of feel in control of things.
Together and together. 1. And close and down.
Once I got over my initial nerves and just kind of relaxed into the music, I really had a good time. I do know that there are places in Leeds where you can do salsa dancing, and after that I am kind of tempted to go up and see if there's anything that I could do, you know, meet people. It sounds like a good way of doing it. Yeah.
I'm always thinking, oh, I look very skinny or horrible. When you're dancing, the mood just overtakes, and don't really think about it anymore, which is rather nice.
If I could find myself a partner, I could see myself going to salsa lessons. Can't see myself going on my own, but if I found myself a female partner, perhaps to take along. Maybe, yeah, maybe I could see myself do-si-doing around the dance floor.
What's important about today's task is that everybody had fun. You know, people were laughing and smiling and joking. I'd really like to try and get them to take that and replicate that back in their everyday lives.
They've all embraced today's lesson. But the fun soon ends as the group are faced with this week's food challenge.
Today I've brought you for a buffet meal, which is sort of tapas and lots of small dishes to choose from, which I know is going to be quite challenging because of choosing the portions and deciding which things to put on your plate.
For anorexic sufferers, meals with no set portions are a huge challenge, as they're terrified of taking too much and overeating.
Can I take some of that?
Yeah, absolutely, there's plenty.
You are constantly fearful of overeating, so therefore you take very small amounts so you can be absolutely sure that you didn't overeat, and I think that just makes it more difficult.
As the group makes their choices, Roz is really struggling with her selection.
That's a very tiny amount. What's going to happen if you eat it? What I would say is you need to have I'd have a hunk of bread with that. That's not enough for a lunch. Just want to put some bread on. Yeah. It seems like everyone's relaxed a little bit now. We've sat down to eat, but the process of choosing was pretty tense.
I just think when there's so much choice, you don't know what to choose, and it's just a bit overwhelming.
It is tough to eat this, I must admit. This is really tough.
You keep thinking, oh God, the plate's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But then I just keep reminding myself, no, I want this to be a normal portion.
You don't trust that you can either A, put enough on, or B, you're going to put too much on, so you're kind of caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, and you're like, it's just a really uncomfortable feeling.
So I want you to feel unsafe, and I want you to feel out of control, and I want to help support you to manage that, to prove that you can do it, and nothing terrible will happen as a consequence.
I kept thinking, well, I'm not going to suddenly explode and die, you know, disappear off the face of the earth. It's just dinner.
Next week, our anorexia sufferers tackle their body image by going clothes shopping.
I felt I looked like a man should look. Now I kind of feel like I look like a little boy.
And messages from home remind them why beating the illness is so vital.
I really miss you, love, Adam.
Emma and her diet swapper, Scott, have come to the end of a long and eventful 5 days in our feeding clinic. Before he sends them on their way, Dr. Jessen gives Emma and Scott their diet plans for the next 12 weeks.
So it's Friday, which means it's going home day for you guys, which I'm sure you're delighted about, aren't you? What I want to do now is give you your diet plans for the next 3 months. Before I do that, let's have a look at old-style breakfasts. Right. I mean, it may seem like crazy, but this is old-style Scott breakfast, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Of absolutely nothing. You never ate breakfast, and what happened?
I have a massive lunch afterwards. Overeat.
Absolutely starving. So let's have a look at what I think a breakfast should be. You've got whole grains in the cereal. Cereals are also fortified by the manufacturers. They'll have iron, they'll have minerals, they'll have vitamins in, things that you need. They're already added into that cereal. The whole grains are great for heart health, reducing risk of diabetes and cancers. Again, you know, fruit. A portion of your 5 a day is in there. Orange juice is great because not only is it a portion of your 5 a day, but also the vitamin C in it helps the absorption of iron from the cereals. So the two work together, which is why mixing things, what you used to do is have one thing or another thing, didn't you? And there's not a lot of mixing lots of stuff together, but the importance of it is it actually helps everything, yeah? So let me give you your diet plans. Over here, Scott, that one is yours, and that's for you. And, you know, give it your best.
Yeah, I think I will be changing my diet quite a bit. I think there'll be a lot more fruit and salad in there, and a lot less pastry. Awesome. Hope you do well. See you later.
If I can eat big amounts of food that I don't like, or food that I'm not really keen on, it'll be much easier doing it with stuff that I really like.
Coming up, Anna gets to grips with a real-life Barbie.
Can I fill your bum?
Of course you can.
That's where the implant is.
And after 3 months on their new diet plans, Scott and Emma come face to face once again.